Hello, my name is Lexis, and I'm so excited you're here because today I'm going to be doing something super special, something that I've never done before, and we're going to see how it goes. So, I spend all my time day in and day out in ad accounts, and I get to see a lot of really cool stuff and data. And today I thought I would just do a quick little training video on what I think the best and most important elements are to a Facebook ad campaign. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to hop into the ads manager. You might not see my face, and that's okay. So if you have any questions at the end of this video, feel free to comment down below or send me a message. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So, rule number one with Ads Manager and Facebook ads, whether you're running the ads yourself or you have a consultant or an agency running them for you, you always want to have admin access to your business manager. And first of all, if you don't know how to access your Ads Manager, it's adsmanager.facebook.com. And then you just make sure that you're in the correct ad account right here. Because if you're on several or if you have a personal ad account in a business, then it's really important that you actually make sure that you're on the correct ad account here so that you can make the correct changes in your current ad account. So let's get started on what the first most important thing is when it comes to running a successful Facebook ad campaign. And it's going to come down to choosing the correct objective. So with Facebook ads, there are 6 different objectives that you can do. And it's basically, this is your goal. Okay. So you need to think about your current goal with any campaign because it will probably vary for each different campaign. You might have a campaign where you just want to show videos. You might have a campaign where you want to get sales to your e-commerce store. You might have a campaign where you want to get leads. Okay. Starting here with the campaign objective matters, and it's exactly where you want to begin. Okay. So let's run through this real quick. So awareness. Awareness is really good for a cold audience or even a retargeting audience. But you can use things like videos, you could do like YouTube videos, those types of things to really just kind of get your brand out there. I don't use this objective very frequently as I've noticed that it doesn't always convert into what we're looking for, which is sales. Okay. So the other thing here that you can do is traffic. A traffic campaign would be something like driving to your YouTube, driving to a blog, anything like that, to a landing page where you're just wanting people to get to know and like you. Okay, so we're in that know like factor here. Okay, and I'm going to do another video on the know like and trust factor, but that's where that traffic campaign is. And then we have an engagement ad. So an engagement ad is really good for, as you can see down here, it's for Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, video views, post engagement, conversions, and calls. However, what I actually see that engagement ad is really good for is using your content on social media and utilizing that to retarget your audience and getting them to like you, right? So in that middle of funnel, like opportunity there where you can use stuff from your social media that you've already created to help build brand awareness, right? Because like I've said, I've seen awareness and I've tested it and it's just not as effective as what an engagement ad is, okay? So then we have this lead campaign. This campaign is probably my most number one utilized objective. And it's basically just, hey, Facebook, we're looking for leads. I want you to find leads for me. Okay. I like using leads, especially because of the iOS 14 opt-out, where if you didn't already know this, but back in 2022, Facebook gave you the fancy little option to opt out of tracking. And that really did start to affect Facebook ads tracking. And now it's a little better, but again, I like utilizing everything within the platform so I can know exactly what's happening. There's no variables, right? Because as a marketer and as a business owner, right, we want to like limit the amount of variables that we have so that we can determine where our success rate is coming from. Okay. So this is a really good one to get leads, whether you're a local business, whether you're an online business owner and you want to get leads. This is a really great place to start. The other option here is app promotion. I don't usually use this because one, I don't have any clients that have apps, and Unless you do have an app, that's a totally, this is exactly where you would want to be. The other option is sales. This is great for e-commerce stores. This is great for sending people to your offers, to your, your landing pages where you want them to actually convert. Okay. This is obviously where e-commerce stores usually stick with their objectives. And basically, this campaign is really good for helping increase your return on investment as well. So all of these objectives and variables, they all matter, but it's how you use them that matters the most, right? Because we don't want to do a traffic campaign to a sales objective, right? Because we're just going to send people that are going to peruse through the website. And we don't want to use a sales campaign when we want to get leads because, well, a sales campaign is just going to get, if we're doing it to a cold audience, it's not going to be as effective, right? We want to get those leads. We want to get that contact information. So this is the first element. It's basically just choosing the right objective for your campaign. So for the example today, I'm just going to show you the leads, okay? So this piece here is basically just Facebook saying, hey, do you want us to use our optimizations? You can, however, it's not always the right thing because Facebook's job is to spend your money and it is also to get as many of the result as possible, even though it might not be a good result, if that makes sense. So it's basically like you're giving Facebook the opportunity to spend your money to get low quality events, leads, people, sales, whatever. So because I've been doing this for 6 years, I don't want Facebook's optimizations. I do them myself. Okay, so the second thing that is so important for any business owner running Facebook ads is the budget, okay? This is going to vary whether you're marketing to a cold audience, to a retargeting audience. It's all going to vary and it all matters, okay? So thinking that you can use a $5 a day budget on a cold audience and get stellar results is super inaccurate, unfortunately. I wish it were the case, but that's just not how it rolls. So it's totally going to depend on your audience, your goals, your campaign, what your offer is that will determine that daily ad spend budget. So definitely think about what your goals are for the campaign and then stick with the budget that you think is going to be best. But a $5 a day budget isn't going to work. For a cold audience, I usually would only start at like $30 a day. And even that right now, because we're almost in Q4 and the political climate is a little weird right now, we definitely want to understand that we might be spending a little more to get a certain result. And that's okay. The third most important element to a successful Facebook ad campaign are the audiences that you use, okay? You want to get super, super crystal clear on who your audience is, why you want to work with them, what are their pain points, how old are they, what gender are they, where do they live, what likes and dislikes do they have, right? Are there certain influencers that they like to follow, certain brands that they like to shop at, right? Understanding this here is so important because it's like, it's either you're going to hit a bullseye or not. And there's no in between. You're basically just going to be one of those frustrated business owners that's spending ad spend and not getting a result because, well, the audience here isn't what you want. It may be too broad. It might be too little, right? It might be too closed in, right? Like if you give Facebook too many parameters, it doesn't give the algorithm a chance to expand. It doesn't give the algorithm a chance to explore, right? Because that's the job. That's its job. Its job is to search around and find your people. And if it can't do that because your parameters are so tight, right? Well, then it's not going to work. Okay. So that is I think the third or the fourth most important element. And lastly, it's going to be the creative. So I'm just going to show you my own personal ad account and an ad that I'm currently running because I can't really show you one of my current clients just because of privacy reasons, at least at this point, right? So let's just talk about the creative. What is the goal of the creative and why does it matter? It matters because if you're not creating content that actually feels and looks attractive, then it's not going to work. It's not going to stop the scroll. It's not going to increase in your conversion. It's just not going to work. So having lackluster ads or lackluster copy isn't going to stop the scroll, right? And so if we're just talking about graphics, we want graphics that, well, they're sexy. They look amazing. They literally make you stop and look at the ad. That's the whole purpose of the campaign, is to stop and look at the ad. The copy is also one of the other important things here, because if the copy doesn't really hit on the pain points, then the client or the avatar, they're not really going to stop and look at your avatar, at your ad. Sorry, I just looked at the time and it said 11:11. So if you don't have copy that talks to the avatar's pain points or gets them to understand very quickly what it is you're asking them to do, because people really you have to make it really easy for them to stop and understand what you're asking them to do. Because when we are bombarded by, like, I think it's 40,000 or 70,000 different pieces of data every single day, we need our brains start to filter out certain things. And so if we do not understand as business owners in our ads that if we're not creating ads that are going to get people to stop, well, they're just going to scroll by. And then that means you're just going to be spending money, right? And so you're not going to get a result. So the last most important thing here is to focus on your destination. So let's look at Nike for a second, okay? The destination obviously is going to be the landing page, right? It's going to be their website. But let's say, for instance, we're targeting women between the ages of 27 and 45. Well, we're probably not going to send them, obviously, to the men's section, okay? And we're not going to send them to the homepage either. Why? Because if we send people to the homepage, they're going to get, again, inundated with so much stimuli that they're going to reach what's called analysis paralysis, and they're just going to completely stop. They're going to miss out on what you're asking them to do. They're going to peruse around. They're probably going to hop here and go to kids. Oh yeah, I need to get shoes for my son, right? And then you just completely miss the mark, okay? So if I were smart and I were Nike's ads manager, first of all, I would make sure they had their pixel installed here, because that's not very good. That is rule number one. You want to have your pixel installed. If you noticed on their homepage, they do have it installed. But on this particular section, they do not. And why is this a problem? Well, we're kind of diverting for a second, but if we want to retarget everybody that's gone to this landing page, we can't. There's no data here. There's nothing to collect the data. It's like having a basket and throwing hoops, right? Well, if we're throwing basketballs at a hoop and there's no hoop, well, then you have nothing to catch it, right? So that's not going to make sense. So regardless, that's not the point. The point is the destination. If you're a woman, right? If our avatar, if we go back here to the audiences, if we go back down here to the audience section, right? Let's say, for instance, we want women between the ages of 27 and 45. Oh, that's 54. We want 45. Okay. And we only want women. And you probably could with Nike, could keep this one on. So that's not important. And let's say, for instance, people that like physical fitness. Okay. So we want to target women that live in the United States between the ages of 27 and 45 in physical fitness. Okay. Well, if that is our goal, right, then we're not going to take women to a homepage. We're going to take them directly to where they would end up spending the most time, right? Is obviously the content that is most applicable to this avatar. Okay. So whether you're an e-commerce business or you're a coach or a local small business, your destination is crucial because you want to know what is the end goal? What is the end point here that we're trying to get people to connect with, right? Because if we don't understand these few elements from the very beginning, we're setting ourselves up for failure. We're setting ourselves up for wasted ad spend. We're setting ourselves up for frustration and just feeling like, well, Facebook ads don't work. And that's just not what I want for you. Okay. So I hope this training was super helpful. Again, those are the five, I guess those are five elements that are critical to running successful Facebook ad campaigns. If you have any questions, you can comment down below. If you want, you can send me a message, whatever. And I hope this was super helpful. Hope you have a great weekend and we'll talk soon. Bye.